I'll be a place for you. 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 I'll be a place for you.
Yes, I will. ladies and gentlemen, welcome to First for Audio. How you doing? You alright? Ah, that's good. I'm always pleased when I get that sort of feedback so instantly. Anyway, what are we going to chat about today then, eh? I bet it's going to be interesting. No, probably not. I've got to obviously choose a subject that might be interesting. So, I'll leave that up to you. Put whatever you want in the chat. about what you want to chat about, and we'll get to it. But anything goes, anything, all right? I'll say a quick hello to people because there's not too many people here just yet. So you know, we're not inundated with people. We've got like 4 watching, and that's including me. Well, hello Ted. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. D-Rock, thanks for that, mate. For that. Look at that. Look. Yeah. Starter of our goal. We have got the goal up there, but you know it's Tuesday. It's chilling chat. You know, we're just chilling. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, you know, oh well. Tough titty. Sucks to be me. So yeah, thanks for that again, D-Rock. Nice one. And who else we got? We got Henry. That's it. There you go. See, Henry, D-Rock, Ted Branston, and me. That makes 4. Oh, there's 5 now. Apparently, it's gone up. Oh, I know why. Kafita's in the chat. Look. Yay! Blimey. I don't know what's the matter with her. All right, Kat. How you doing? Good to see you. And we've got Steve Stockton and Holden here.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello,
He's
mate.
getting a little rowdy. We're tired. We got up early. His 1-year doctor appointment checkup was today, and he did great. He's way ahead of the curve on everything. So
Well, that's good.
it's holding his own. Get it? Get it? See what I did there?
Yeah, he's holding his own. Well, I went to the doctors yesterday, and they took a look at my chest, and nothing really. Give me some antibiotics for a week because I've just got a bit of a chest infection. But aside from that, apparently my lungs are fine. Now, how about that after 30 odd years of
Indeed.
smoking?
Glad you got a good prognosis there.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Ted Branston, Cathedra, Henry Nelson, praying for you, buddy. And I saw D-Rock in there somewhere.
Yeah, D-Rock's there. He kindly started off the donations tonight. Nice.
Good. We got 7 watching. Yeah, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
I've got a premiere, so we'll redirect here when it's over with. And I went ahead and dropped some links and asked people to come over and see Holden and I on camera. So may get a few drop-ins.
Yeah, there's nowhere else you see Holden on camera, mate, is there? Hey?
There we go.
I said there's nowhere else you see Holden on camera.
That's right. That's right. This is it right now.
My youngest viewer, even though he's forced to. My captive audience, quite literally, captive in your arms. Not right, Holden. That's it. You sing it to the stars, mate.
He's fussy. Yeah. You hear the headphones? Here's the
You being a fusspot, mate.
Pull my beard.
That's it. Grab the beard, yeah.
Gotta grab the headphones.
Yeah. Grab the headphones. Yeah, that's it. Ah. He's restless, mate. Poor little.
There you go. Now he's looking for it. That's one of his games that he plays. Throw it away and playing fetch with daddy. He throws it and I have to get it.
Throw it away and make you go pick it up. That's it. That's the way you do it.
Hey, there's Judy. How you doing, Aunt Judy? Here's Holden. I was just telling him Holden went to his doctor's appointment today for his 1-year checkup, and he's way ahead of the curve on everything, Judy. But he gets tired. He's going to eat a bottle soon and go to bed. We got up early, so we'll head to bed pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm up early every morning, but only like to take Bailey to school, really.
Yeah.
And then go and
You
do
come home,
some
go back
shop,
to bed.
go do some shopping if I need to. You know, that old chestnut. How privileged am I, eh? I love it. Holden, woo!
Say hi. Hey, Adelaide.
Holden,
Oh,
hello, mate.
Can you tell him hi? Can you wave? He thinks you never won. Like,
Yeah, well, I am. You know, can't blame him.
yeah.
I mean, It is first floor audio. It's definitely
That's
not
right.
second. It's not second floor or.
Not ground floor, but first floor. There's a difference.
Yeah, there you go. The correct assumption there. Yeah, you go. Because in America, for some odd reason,
Yeah,
you
in
don't
America,
have a
the
ground
first
floor.
is first, and then the
Your ground floor is
ground
floor
floor is
one.
the first floor here. Yeah,
and it
kinda
doesn't
confused.
make sense too. But anyway, over here, like I said, we invented life, so but we're also. Oh, don't worry, mate. It's also rapidly ending here too. Yeah. Civilization is rapidly ending here. We're turning into North Korea over here, mate.
It's a little. Yeah. There we go. There we go, buddy. All right.
Yeah, I said over here, civilization began over here, right? Civilized society, right? And all that. And we're also ending it here as well, mate, with it becoming North Korea,
Yeah, I've been hearing some scary things.
Yeah.
It's all
It's
over.
all true. It's all true as well. You can't make a tweet about your government. You'll get arrested and put in prison. But a rapist, a mass rapist goes off scot free. All of our town, a lot of our cities now and towns are being run by muzzies. They're all in government. It's they're trying to change it from a Christian nation to something that's not.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to have to go. I got to go make his bottle, but love, peace, and chicken grease, everybody. Lee, love you, brother. And we'll see you Thursday night.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, catch you
Hopefully
later.
some
Peace.
people will come over when my premiere is over with.
Yeah, that's all right, man. All
All
cool.
right, have a good night,
They may do
everybody.
and they may not. All right, I'll catch you later, mate.
Steph and Nicole, Holden, and myself.
See you later. Yeah,
See
bye,
you
Holden. Bye,
later.
Nicole. Love to you. See you later. See you later, Steve. Steve Stockton, everybody. Steve Stockton. That was Steve. Stockton. That geezer. Now, Kafida is not here, as per normal, What do we expect, though, eh? I mean, what do we expect? So, we got any chat discussions? No? No. Howdy, Steve. Hello. It's just hellos. See them deface our flag on the Banksy art on that wall. No, I didn't see that. No. That's weird. Don't know, mate. I don't know. It's all covered in mud. Oh, I don't know. Let's put some music on in the background, right? I'll do that, shall I? Oh, they painted over an England flag with a Banksy. Ah, right, I see. Play some music. I have house chores. Need some motivation. Dear, I'll motivate you. Get on with some bloody work. Yeah, motivation. Step to it. Come on in. Sock Major. Oh, I can hear a helicopter outside. And that's through all my soundproofing and everything. This is why I said that UFO that a picture of that UFO footage that I've got, completely silent. And that's how I know. Like I said, you know what I mean? So let's get my list up. I'll just play it gently in the background, Let's get... Let me just check my volumes here. Yeah, it's on in the background. It's still a bit loud though, isn't it? There you go. You got a little bit of music. Don't turn it up too loud though, because then I'll be drowned out from my chatter. You know. I still want to have a little chat, but you know. Ah, see, I cut out myself. Just start getting carried away. Hey, get carried away. So, what can we talk about? Let's have a look. I know what we could do. Let's have a little look at this. Hang on a second. Right, let's have a look at this. Let's pause this. So, on Joe Rogan, right? On Joe Rogan, they were talking about 3-Eye Atlas. It's because I find this bloody intriguing, you know. Let's pause this music a minute, right? This 3-Eye Atlas thing just is a nutty thing. Hello, what's going on there? Do you want back on, Steve?
Yeah. He decided he wanted to have his bottle on here with you, so.
Ah, all right.
Join you back here for a little bit while he's drinking his formula here.
I was just about to play a bit of Joe Rogan talking about the 3-Eye Atlas.
All right, let's hear it. I'll be here.
I find this very intriguing, the whole 3-Eye Atlas thing, and I think this is as worthy a chat of anything as anything. Yeah, the big rock from elsewhere that's not leaving a trail. It seems to be emitting things that certain elements that are found in man-made objects, and there's a internal glow or something like that, like nuclear power station sort of thing on the inside.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, but I'm not familiar enough to even speak with any intelligence or authority on it.
So with that in mind, hello Kafida, by the way. Let's hope you're actually there. Which you're not. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead. I'm going to mute my mute. Hello. We're gonna. I'm gonna not talk because it'll echo back. But remind me when I finish the video that I got to mute my mic. Unmute. I got to mute.
Lee, when you finish the video, unmute your mic. How's that?
No, not my mic. I'm mute. I've got to mute this
what he
video.
Said.
Glad to be of help.
When you're done.
Thanks very much. Hello, Kafida, and welcome. So
Hello.
Here we go. We're gonna listen to Joe Rogan and some bloke talking about the intergalactic object. This is called 3-Eye Atlas.
He has some spooky stuff on there quite often.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to it, and then we can have a chat about it. All right. Here we go.
some intergalactic object that's heard. This guy Avi Loeb, he's a professor at Harvard that believes it might be an alien probe.
Wow.
And he was talking about the odds of this thing being in the trajectory that it is, entering into our solar system in a direct path with Earth. The odds are extremely low. And at the place where it's doing it, it's when the Earth is the opposite side of the sun, so it's coming from behind the sun. And it's so it makes it difficult to detect. And that this object is in a direct line to come to Earth in 2027.
Do they have a trajectory of where it's going to land?
I don't think they totally know that yet. I think they're trying to calculate whether or not it's actually going to hit Earth or come near Earth or pass by Earth or what it, what it is. Like,
why do they think it's an alien satellite or whatever?
Well, there's this guy, Avi Loeb, this professor that I'm discussing. He also had an analysis of another object that passed by Earth a few years back that they named, and they said that this thing had a very bizarre metallic sort of a look to it. That
Now, the thing is, the reason it's called 3I Atlas is because it's the third interstellar object that's come into close by. And there's further evidence since this, right? Further conversation about this, that it's actually the trajectory. It's gonna like swing round. It's as if it's gonna end up orbiting with like Saturn and orbiting around like it's going to sit there as if to be watching us from out there, sort of thing. This is a hypothesis, of course, but yeah, this is an older one. I think we want to listen to Avi Loeb actually say it, but we'll do that in a bit.
he did not think, based on the shape of it and the way it was traveling, that it was natural. So he thought that that could have been some sort of an alien craft as well. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they come in peace.
Well, that might be the end of the Earth. Maybe that's like, they realize like that's when AI starts to take over and they think it's chaos. So like, it's just, that's when it's going to happen. So let's just like launch a 7-mile wide thing into the Earth and just start all over again like the dinosaurs.
Well, that you're saying it hits and then our AI fights it?
No.
Or they...
It wipes out. The AI takes over and it's like, this isn't going to work. So it wipes it out. Just like when the dinosaurs were here, the dinosaurs were too powerful. And they're like, yeah, let's just fucking start from scratch. Maybe that's how they like reset the game.
Huh. And then, so humanity is wiped out?
Everything's wiped out. Yeah, we start fresh with new organisms. And then they come along and do genetic engineering just like they did with us and monkeys and create a new version of humans. But this time it's a little less territorial, a little more inquisitive, a little more interested in innovation, a little less interested in dominating and controlling resources. Because that's what fucked us. Territorial apes get high technology and use territorial behavior to defend and acquire resources, and that creates war. Okay, so this Mexican pilot was flying, and in the middle of his flying, he got confused. He didn't know what the fuck happened. He fell asleep, and he woke up and he was over the ocean. And he's like, how did I get over the ocean? This doesn't even make any sense. And the amount of gas that was missing from his plane didn't make any sense that he was able to get this far. And
well, I'm going to stop it there for a minute because he's just going to go on about other things as well. But I wanted to find more about the 3I Atlas. Let's do this. Oily. Now, where is it?
Interesting for sure.
Yeah, I want to find the one. NASA quantum ran a simulation of 3I Atlas, and I don't trust that NASA. I'm not listening to NASA. I want to find the Avi Loeb. There's Avi Loeb there. There's the trajectory there. There's a nickel, but something doesn't add up. Yeah, it's really weird. Let's listen to him because Yeah, look. The tail looks more like propulsion than dust, because normally what happens is a trail, no matter what, ends up facing like the sun, for instance, because it's wherever the heat's being transferred off. Yeah. And normally a tail always points towards the sun. That's why when you see something going along, it looks like it's going forwards with the tail in front of it, because it's just the way it is, you know. But because it's not like a trail like that when it comes through the Earth's atmosphere, you get the trail behind it. It's different in space, isn't it? But yeah, let's listen to this guy, because he's Casper Site. This is so, you know, check him out. Casper Site's a really nice guy, another English guy. But we'll check this out. Hang on a second.
Yesterday I said
He's so much like me in a way. Mate, tell you what, mate. There we go. This is Casper Site.
Mate, yesterday I said at the end of my video that I was going to do a alien and UFO video today. That's now coming tomorrow, because we have to talk about the crazy news about the 3i Atlas, mate. Right? It's really, really strange. The updates are mad. Basically, the 3i Atlas is the third interstellar object coming into our solar system. The first one was called the Oumuamua in 2017, and the second one was called the 2i Borisov. That was in 2019, and this one's obviously the 3i Atlas. Okay, so here's the first strange thing, and don't worry, mate, these get more and more strange. Right, so can you remember back in 1977? You might not have been born then. It's all right. I wasn't either. 1977 in August, right? There was a thing called the WOW signal, right? This university received a signal and they wrote on that piece of paper, wow, right? So potentially the 3i Atlas has come from where that signal came from. What the actual F? Listen to this, right? Two of the strangest cosmic events might share the same galactic neighborhood, and that's too weird to ignore. The WOW signal, a 72-second whisper from the stars in August 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University captured something extraordinary, a narrowband signal at 1,420.456 megahertz, right on the hydrogen line, the frequency many scientists consider the universal hailing channel for interstellar communication. Astronomer Jerry Ayman circled the data and wrote "wow" in the margin. The annotation gave the signal its name and launched decades of speculation. Was it an alien transmission, a natural phenomenon, a comet cloud? Despite countless follow-up scans, the signal never repeated. It remains one of SETI's most intriguing anomalies. The signal's origin, the constellation Sagittarius, a region teeming with stars near the center of the galaxy. Now, Sagittarius, right? I'm fast forwarding. Fast forward. Enter 3i Atlas. This is where it gets freaky deaky. Nearly 5 decades later, the universe throws us another mystery: 3i Atlas, an interstellar object now passing through the solar system. It's the only third confirmed visitor from beyond our solar system, after Oumuamua and Borisov. With the 3i Atlas coming from Sagittarius. Yes, the same galactic neighborhood tied to the WOW signal. Coincidence? Probably. But coincidences this big have a way of sparking curiosity and headlines. Why Sagittarius matters. The galactic center isn't just cosmic wallpaper. It's a dense hub of stars, dust, and radio emissions. If intelligent civilizations were looking for a common meeting point to broadcast signals, this region would be logical choice. It's the cosmic Times Square. What? That's why SETI researchers have long focused their ears on frequencies like 1420 megahertz hydrogen line and directions like Sagittarius. Both the WOW signal and our new interstellar guest share this backdrop. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Imagine if this thing is coming over because it heard our bloody signal, or it gave off a signal. Like, that's mad.
But that's actually quite frightening as well, isn't it? Because I can't remember who it was that said, well, there's a good reason why we don't hear life teeming and saying, hi, we're here, because it's dangerous to do so. You know? People hide on purpose, or beings, whatever, other life forms, hide on purpose. Keep themselves to themselves on purpose, because they probably learnt that letting everybody know you're here is not always a good thing. You know? I'll give you a very brief example. For instance, here on planet Earth, right? If you go to the Amazon jungle and you happen to bump into an indigenous tribe there that has never seen a white man, for instance, right? Never seen a powered boat, never seen a camera. All those things are alien technology to them, right? And a lot of them get aggressive. I mean, and there's other times as well that people in the Amazon have made effigies of aeroplanes and helicopters and prayed to them. Because to them, the gods are in the sky.
The cargo cults. There's a good example.
Yeah,
of
the
that.
cargo cults. Yeah, there you go. But they'll also attack helicopters as if it's a bird or a plane, you know, and a plane as well. They'll attack it. They'll fire bows at it, fire arrows at it, throw spears at it. You know, so this is why they don't advertise that they're there. So if you bump into them, they're really aggressive. They don't want you to know they're there.
I got to run, folks.
You know?
But
All
I'm
right,
listening. Good night, everybody.
No worries,
Again,
mate.
I'll
Take
be
care.
gone this time. See you later.
See you later, buddy. So yeah, let's crack on. Isn't that right, Kat? Yeah, that's right, Lee.
Right? Now, this is something else. I'm just going to throw in nuggets of things which I think that have been, you know, people are talking about, which is quite strange. I remember when Avi Loeb, the scientist, pretty much the only scientist, has come out and said, look, this potentially could be an alien mothership, right? Or something not a comet. So he says that basically there is a bandwidth between 0 being absolutely a comet to 10 being absolutely something man-made. And he says, with the evidence so far, we're getting to a 4. So it's absolutely not got the characteristics of a comet. So 4 is 1 away from 5, where basically he's saying it's a 50-50 chance between this thing being a comet, or an actual like something man-made. And I'm going to show you some videos of why he thinks this in a second. I remember him saying a while ago that this thing didn't have a tail. And what I mean by a tail is when things like go through space, it's got some sort of like gases and particles and stuff coming trailing behind it. This thing hasn't got it. And I remember him saying it. In fact, let me just try and find Avi Loeb.
For having me. The biggest question is whether the reflection of sunlight is coming from a solid surface, in which case, as you pointed out, it could be as big as 40 kilometers, twice as big as Manhattan Island, or maybe a dense cloud of dust. Now, until recently, we haven't seen dust being pushed back behind the object, but...
See, until recently, we haven't seen any dust being pushed back on the object.
By the solar radiation pressure. And so one had to conclude that perhaps we are seeing a giant object. But a rock that big is 1 million times more massive than the previous interstellar objects that we've seen, Oumuamua and Borisov. And that is quite unlikely. So either this is actually a dense cloud of dust that somehow did not produce until recently a tail, or this is not a rock. And
or it's not a rock, as in some sort of exhaust system, right? Some sort of engine. It's what? Okay, this is what I'm saying, mate. This is why I'm saying it's very, very strange.
that case, maybe it's targeting the inner solar system. We know that the trajectory is very well aligned with the planets, and it will come very close, as you pointed out, to Mars, and later in March 2026 to Jupiter. And so the fundamental question, as far as I'm concerned, is what is the object? How big is it? And with the camera HiRISE that is on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, we should be able to resolve the object with a pixel size of 30 kilometers. That will be our best chance in the immediate future to tell what is it.
Yeah, because what he's planned to do, he's contacted NASA, and because of the trajectory of where it's going, when it gets to I think it's, what do you say, Jupiter, he wants to get the Juno telescope closer. He wants to just give Juno telescope a little bit of a push to get close, so they can literally film it from a 30-kilometer distance, mate. That's going to be absolutely crazy. I think he said October.
So we're going to lose the Earth perspective, but we're going to get a perspective from some of the imagery and imagers that we have around Mars or on Mars. That's fascinating stuff. But I got.
Oh, sorry, was it Mars? I think it got mixed up. Juno is the telescope. I think they're going to be using. They're pushing it. I might have got mixed up. I'm excited, right?
Rewind you a little bit. Getting back to the tail. Is the tail now pointing in the right direction? Because for a while there, it seemed like the tail was pointing towards the sun, right?
Right. And in fact, I'm now working on a paper trying to understand that. This is the first time something like that is.
This scientist that has been documenting the stars for many, many years has never seen this. Right? He's never seen this. This is mad.
Observed where there is a glow ahead of the object towards the sun, and now as it approached closer to the sun, there seemed to be some teardrop shape to the plume of gas and dust around it. And that may be just the focusing of whatever is scattering sunlight around it by the solar wind or by the solar radiation pressure. We don't know exactly what is causing it. As it comes closer to the sun, we will get much better information, because, interrogation tactics often uses stressful environment to get a confession. And in this case, we might get a confession from this visitor as to the nature of it and where it came from. And science can be fun as long as you open your mind to something new. And we definitely know there are new things in this context, because, for example, we detected nickel without iron in some recent data around the object, and that the only way you get that usually is from industrial production of nickel alloys. And
listen to that again. Listen.
For example, we detected nickel without iron in some recent data around the object, and that the only way you get that usually is from industrial production of nickel alloys. And so there are many open questions. The plume of gas around it is mostly carbon dioxide, 95% by mass, based on the Webb telescope data, and only 5% by mass, water vapor. So, we don't fully understand what's going on there.
And Professor, I know very early on, before we had a little bit more fidelity here, I asked you, and you're like, it's probably a comet. Is it becoming less and less likely of a comet here in your eyes?
For now, I rank it 4 on the scale that I define that is called
almost 50-50.
Globe scale, where 0 is a natural object and 10 is a technological object.
Absolutely crazy. All right.
Nuts, isn't it? It is nuts. Even if you're not into it. I mean, it is there. It's not like it's not there. So it's not like we're it's just a chat. It is actually happening, and it is actually there, and it's another object coming in and passing by. Yeah, but same as everything, though, Ted. But not every single thing is. I mean, we can't say that object's a conspiracy. You know what I mean? So there's other. The thing is, not every scientist can be bought. You know, we found that out. We found that out about with the COVID thing and the pandemic. We found out that because they could be silenced and taken off of YouTube and not allowed to speak. But not everyone's a conspiracist, is trying to create a conspiracy or, try to hide things from the public. Some people want to let you know, but the thing is, it is. I understand. It's fine. It's who do you trust? Well, you don't trust anybody initially, do you? You allow them to speak and hear every side, and the more you hear, the more you can take what you think is righteous from it and build a picture from many different angles.
Fodder for your own opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I won't believe a word NASA says. So whatever comes out of NASA, I'm not interested because they're 100% bought.
Smoke and mirrors with those guys.
Yeah. And never a straight answer. I mean, it's that's what NASA stands for, isn't it? So, them, I get that, but not everybody is out to lie to you. That's the thing. So amongst all this stuff, I still want to know what it's about. It's pointless just going, well, I'm not going to listen to anybody's point of view because I think everybody in the world's a conspiracist or, everyone in the world is out to lie to me. The thing is, if you go through life like that as well, you might as well not talk to anybody because that means you feel that everybody's lying to you and not everybody is. You can't tar everybody with the same evil brush that these Illuminatists want to bloody give you. You know what I mean?
It needs more flux capacitor.
Yeah. What's this? If the engine is pointing forwards, it should be slowing down relative to expectations. Yeah, but like I said, we can just watch it, can't we? And well, we can't watch it so much, but we can hear out the people that say they are watching it and showing us footage of it and those sort of things. You know what I mean? And like I say, not everybody's there to lie to you. You got to give people a chance to. I mean, it's like this 20 and back thing. I've heard yet another person saying about this 20 and back thing. What a load of utter BS. They go off, they get recruited, and they go off and fight in some war for 20 years, and then they come back, and then they're regressed back to the age that they were picked up, and then they go about their lives. What an utter load of balls. I don't buy that for 1 second. And whoever started that perpetuation of nonsense, I have no idea. Because I don't believe it for 1 second. I just don't believe the people that are saying it. They've saying nothing of relevance. It's just something. Any school kid could make up a story like that. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not impactful enough, and they're not. They're unemotional about it as well, and I think that's to try and make it look like they're very truthful and very forthright. And I think it's just an act. I think it's an absolute load of balls. Whereas there's an actual object in the sky, same as what I saw. I don't go over the top about my sightings that I've seen, but I've seen stuff that I can't explain. So, and if someone else wanted to look at my footage and go, "Wow, I think that's a drone," well, that's their opinion. That's fine, but it didn't make a sound, so how to work that one out? I don't know, Like I said, and other people might say, you're seeing things, Like I said, not everybody's a liar either, So you can't, not all scientists are lying to you. There's some scientists who are legit who want to enlighten you. Anyway.
But there's something else which I wanted to show you. Maybe this is a little bit sort of okay. But look at this. Aaron, I mean, he says, now we're lying and saying 3i Atlas suddenly has a tail, but also shared a picture that shows they smeared the image to give the appearance. I guess every star in the sky also has infrared tail now. Lol. So they're saying the new image from the Gemini Observatory shows the cosmic broad coma, or a cloud of dust and gas that forms around its nucleus as it gets closer to the sun. Astronomers said in a news release the tail spans about 1/200th of a degree in the sky. 1 degree is about the width of a pinky finger, according to the news release. The tail also points away from the sun. Okay, but I don't see any trails here. But okay, so we're seeing this. I still think it's odd, regardless of whether they've blurred it to give it a tail or not. I think it's odd that it didn't have a tail and now it has got a tail. Each one, even if it kept on not having a tail, that's odd. But it's still odd that it didn't have a tail and it's now gone back. If anything, that's more odd that it didn't have a tail and now it's got a tail. You know? I want to show you this as well. So there has been potentially... Okay, hang on. What's this? 3i Atlas enhanced images hidden from the public. 3i Atlas enhanced images hidden from the public. Planet X News. 3i Atlas enhanced images hidden from the public. Ooh, okay.
Reputation at Harvard to call urgent attention to both Oumuamua and 3i Atlas as possible, I would say probable, at this point, alien reconnaissance probes. 3i Atlas enhanced images hidden from the public.
By the way, this potentially is not the only thing hidden, which I'm going to show you in a minute.
Inner structure is approximately 15 miles in diameter, or 82,000 feet in diameter. As you zoom in, you can clearly see a ribbed structure that appears seamless.
What?
The James Webb Telescope just confirmed that 3i Atlas is not behaving like any comet ever seen. What Avi Loeb just dropped changes everything we thought we knew about this comet. Its trajectory is another red flag, because instead of being random, like a true interstellar wanderer, it's aligned perfectly with the ecliptic plane, the plane of our solar system. What are the odds of that? The Very Large Telescope in Chile just made it spicier. They found cyanide and nickel without iron in the plume. Natural comets show iron plus nickel together. Nickel without iron? That's the mark of industrial nickel alloy production. Will 3i Atlas finally show us what it really is? A dying comet? A probe leaking industrial byproducts? Or the first undeniable artifact of alien engineering drifting through our system? Stay tuned.
That drives me mad, that does. Oh my God, can you believe what's going on? Just over the top. I don't know why these people can't speak. I mean, I think that's a bot anyway, but it's over the top, over sensationalizing things. You know what I mean? It's just, I just read a book and it was amazing. I've never read such words in all my life.
There will be more intel coming in soon.
Ooh, go and subscribe and do the thing.
Coming in soon. Not coming in soon. No, coming in soon. Just what?
May. Okay. Right. So with that picture, I mean, that is odd, isn't it? It looks like it's been deliberately blanked out or something. What the actual F, mate? And talking about that, this is, by the way, straight in 2 hours ago by Red Collie here. 3i Atlas latest photos in true colors. Ordinary comet, clown face. Look, this is true colors. Because I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. Look at that. That's a comet. A green comet. What? Wow. Oh, yeah, this is something I wanted to show you, just out of just a bit of fun. One of the latest photos of Interstellar 3i Atlas. I've seen this before. It's Goku, right? Look at this. Yeah? And obviously, he's just put that. What is Goku? I haven't got a clue what Goku is. But that image there reminded me of this. It reminded me of this. Look at you, eh? And talking about that, I know I'm gonna bring you back in a second, okay? But that also made me think.
So what makes you say that then? I don't know where you're getting that from, mate. Jesus Christ. Everybody's either a bloody conspiracy theory or lying to you, or they're a prick. What's the matter, man? Jesus. I just thought it was interesting, the actual subject. You know. And the reason I picked him is because he goes through stuff already that I haven't got to go through. Hello?
Interstellar visitor to our solar system. This newly discovered object invokes some profound questions. Are we alone? Or are we just bumpers in a lonely game of intergalactic pinball? Avi Loeb, a NASA scientist, puts a 40% probability of alien origin on the interstellar object 3I/Atlas. Why is that? And what is so interesting about 3I Atlas that members of Congress are even considering diverting the Juno probe to intercept it? Could this object be of intelligent or artificial origin? Or is it totally natural? In either case, what could we learn from such an entity? What exceptional qualities make Loeb believe that this particular visitor to our solar system is so special? And what can we learn about our own history here on Earth with the exploration of such a celestial body? Could the investigation in pursuit of this and the other two recently discovered interstellar interlopers provide more insight into the events that have shaped our world, our human species, and our civilization? Join us for this episode of Squaring the Circle as we unpack the data on this cosmic visitor as well as its two predecessors and look at the significance of these enigmatic objects for humanity. I'm Randall Carlson, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Squaring the Circle. I'm your host, Randall Carlson, and I'm going to be joined by my co-host for this episode, John Arthur Fiallo. Hello, John.
Howdy, sir.
So you've been doing well since our last recording together?
Yes, sir. And you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been doing very well. I can always be doing better, but I'm doing very well. And hope to keep that up for another, at least half a century. I might be able to get most of what I would anticipate wanting to accomplish if I could have another half century. Okay. Some of those things we may actually be getting into with today's topic, which is, I think, very interesting because as we are both interested in the much larger picture of our existence within this cosmic domain, we're finding that there's constantly new questions we're being presented with these new questions that raise some really interesting issues. And one of those recently is this discovery of this object. We're not sure what it is yet. We're learning about it, but it's called 3I/Atlas. Now, do you know right offhand where it got its name from? And then we'll get into who discovered it. I know it was discovered on July 1st, so it's relatively recent.
3I Atlas. So the 3I is it's the third interstellar object that we've actually tracked. That we're very clear that it's not in any sort of far solar system orbit, and it was actually found by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Atlas.
Atlas, right.
On July 1st, 2025. I had to read it over here because that is quite the mouthful.
Yeah, let's read it once over again. It's the
Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. So the I is silent in the acronym.
So, okay, yeah. So when we speak of its name, but we should speak of I. So it's 3. The third,
interstellar.
The I is interstellar. The third interstellar, not a solar system object, an interstellar object.
Because it's clearly coming from very far away.
Out there somewhere.
Correct.
And it is passing through our solar system, our celestial neighborhood. It's coming in, it's sort of out in the fringes of the suburbs right now as we speak, I believe, and it'll be coming in. And when does it make its perihelion passage around the sun? That is in March 16th, I believe, of next year?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me pull this up.
And let's define perihelion for anybody who's not sure what that means. That is the point at which in its orbit it's passing closest to the sun. Peri means proximal, close to. Helion is the sun. Its close passage to the sun is going to be on March 16th, right? Was I right?
You're thinking about our best opportunity to send a probe.
To probe, yes.
From Juno. So Juno, which is
wouldn't get there till March 16th.
March 16th to 26th.
When
October
is perihelion?
29th is
of
perihelion.
This year.
Of this
October
year.
29th of this year. Okay. All
so
right.
it's very close. And so it'll be passing just outside of the orbit of Jupiter. And it is going to be, we're not going to be able to see it. We're going to be on the opposite side of the sun.
During perihelion.
During perihelion. Correct.
But we will anti-perihelion and post-perihelion, we will be able to see it, I presume.
Correct.
I mean, we see it now, so we're still going to see it when it's
correct,
well within the orbit of Mercury. Now, it does not, there's no indication that it's going to come within it's more than an astronomical unit away from the Earth, and it's a perigee, right, which would be the closest passage to the Earth.
1.36 astronomical units.
All right, so let's define an astronomical unit. An astronomical unit is simply the distance from the Earth to the sun. So you said it's going to be 1.3. So then that 0.3 would be its distance, its perihelion distance. You could think of it that way, with, of course, some adjustment for the size of the sun, because when that perihelion measurement is given, I presume that is from the sun's, measured from the sun's center of mass, rather than the sun's surface. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? But for round figures, we can say it'll be about 0.3 astronomical units on the other side of the sun. So it'll be 1 astronomical unit from the Earth to the sun, but you said it's going to be 1.3 astronomical units. And because of the fact that the Earth is essentially on the other side of the sun, like if this is the sun and this is the Earth, right? And then we have the object coming around as it's making perihelion, it's going to be pretty darn close to perigee at the same time.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
So it'll be at 1.36 astronomical units from the sun. It'll be at 126 million miles.
Okay,
if you're using freedom units. Yeah.
That makes sense. Because in round numbers, 93 million miles to the sun. And then we would multiply that by, what was it again? How many astronomical units?
1.36 from the sun.
1.36. So times 1.36. Yeah, and what did you say about 126
million miles?
Yeah, that's what I came up with. So, so John and I were on the same page. Okay. So, what about this object? Now, I mean, we know it was preceded by. Let me see if I can get this. Oumuamua.
Oumuamua. Oumuamua. Yeah,
Oumuamua. Okay, that's kind of like Hunga Tonga Hunga. This is Oumuamua.
It is Hawaiian. I feel like I'm going to be put out to pasture every time I try to say it. So forgive me, native speakers. But yeah, that's going to be something we stumble over. And Borisov, 2I Borisov. And so both of these were very, very interesting. And in fact, I can actually pull up a graphic that shows both of their trajectory here. Give me just a moment. And I can pull this up really quick. So here we have, this is courtesy of Wikipedia, but ultimately I believe this is from JPL.
Yeah.
So the red line, if you're on the audio, I apologize, but Oumuamua comes in at a very acute angle and passes very close in our solar system, and that was the first one in 2017. And then Borisov, 2I Borisov comes along at this very obtuse angle.
Yeah. So let's look at those angles. So it's looking to me there like, okay, look, when the two objects are making perihelion, Oumuamua is much closer to the sun than Borisov. Well, then that is affecting the shape of their orbits there, because what's happening is that powerful gravity field of the sun is pulling Oumuamua in and wrapping it around close, whereas the effect on Borisov is much less, because Borisov is outside the orbit of Mars, so it's quite a ways from the sun. So its gravity field is not going to distort its orbital trajectory nearly as much as we see happening with Oumuamua.
Correct.
Now, where, by comparison, where will, let's see, you said that, where does Atlas fall?
You'll actually see it's 5% within the plane of the ecliptic.
Yes. Which
is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now let's clarify that. Plane of the ecliptic is going to be the Earth's orbit around the sun. As the Earth orbits the sun and sweeps out a flat plane, that's what we call the plane of the ecliptic. So called because the eclipses only occur when the moon is precisely crossing that plane, the flat field of Earth's orbital plane. Think of it as just a two-dimensional plane, and Earth is orbiting. But kind of perhaps coincidentally, the moon's tilt relative to the plane of the ecliptic is 5 degrees. So it's essentially the same as Atlas's angle of the ecliptic. Not that that has any significance or meaning to it, but I just note that it is tilted at the same angle as the moon is to Earth's orbital path, which is called the plane of the ecliptic.
Correct. And so I think hearing a quick excerpt from Avi Loeb, and then I think we should dig into the news on this would be appropriate, because Avi Loeb is a researcher and scientist, and he's made some really interesting claims. But I think it's, you and I were talking about this beforehand. I'm not going to spoil too much. This is a interview that he did on CNN. So.
Okay.
Okay, so we're bringing in Harvard Astronomy Department Chair Avi Loeb. Thanks so much for being with us. I want to start with this thing we're talking about. It's the 3I Atlas comet. NASA's like, look, it's got an icy nucleus. It's got that cloud of gas and dust. We've got the Hubble. We've got the Webb. These telescopes have shown that there's no strange signals, no maneuvers, nothing artificial. Why do you think it could be artificial or alien technology?
Which is a
well, the brightness. Thanks for having me, by the way. The brightness of the object implies a diameter of 20 kilometers, and there is not enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver such a giant object per decade. It takes 10,000 years for that much mass to arrive to the inner part of the solar system. Moreover, the trajectory of this object is very fine-tuned. It lies in the plane of the orbits of the planets around the sun to within 5 degrees. The chance for that to happen is 1 in 500. And moreover, it passes very close to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, with a chance of 1 per 20,000 if you just change the arrival time randomly. And it will arrive closest to the sun when the Earth would be on the opposite side. We won't be able to observe it, but that's the perfect time for it to maneuver. And so we just need to watch it. I'm not saying it's an alien technology. I'm just saying it doesn't look like a very common thing. And actually, the glow that is around this object, usually for comets, you see a trailing tail behind the object. And here, the glow from the Hubble Space Telescope image is actually in front of the object. We've never seen such a thing. A comet doesn't have glow in front of it.
But can you tell me why your position on this is so different from NASA's, and why in your paper about it, you kind of talk about this as a thought experiment, a pedagogical kind of exercise. You're casting doubt, and then NASA is saying it's not true. So why keep talking about it this way?
Well, science is about asking any question that you like. It's not there is no censorship on the type of question that is being asked. And the scientific method is about using data to select the correct answer. Now, assuming in advance that you know the answer is not a productive approach. We need to collect enough data, and there should be a scale that classifies objects between 0, where it's obvious that they are natural, when there is a cometary tail behind them, they don't have a special orbit, there is nothing unusual about them, and a 10, when it's definitely an artificial object where it maneuvers, there are some artificial lights, and we should look carefully at any interstellar object that comes into the solar system. We're in a new era now that the Rubin Observatory in Chile will find a new interstellar object every few months. And I'm suggesting to leave all possibilities on the table, because we launched probes to interstellar space, Voyager, Pioneer, New Horizons, and why should we assume that we are the only one in our cosmic neighborhood? We should just check by looking at data. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of NASA having authority on this matter.
And I hope to see that data soon. Avi Loeb, thanks so much.
So I love the fact that he says, hey, this is what science is. It's about getting an abundance of opinion.
Well, she says, why do you keep talking that way? Look, NASA has declared omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing NASA, has declared that there's no evidence of it being artificial. So why do you keep talking about it this way? Well, I'm not endorsing the idea that it's artificial. Of course not. I don't know. But he's pointing out that this is a unique object. It's an enigma. It doesn't fit the pattern. It's something, like he said, we've never really seen anything quite like this before. So it naturally raises questions. But this is typical CNN. I mean, this is typical mainstream media here. Well, why keep talking about it this way? We've got NASA. Well, okay, so I don't know, what is it, over 100,000 employees in NASA? I'm just curious. How many employees in NASA? Probably out of the whole panoply of NASA employees, there's 2 or 3 guys, maybe just one guy, who's doing the scientific research on this, has concluded it is more likely a comet of some kind, an unusual comet, which is what I would be inclined to believe. But, you know, Avi Loeb, he's a theoretical astrophysicist. He's a cosmologist. I mean, his take on this is of value. And she's like, oh, well, why do you disagree with NASA? You know, NASA has said, given the final word on this, there's no mystery. Let's just move on. And he says, well, no, there's all kinds of things. And we're going to look at some of those things to try to get a better handle on this. Now, ground news is what we've now started using for our research into current events and topical questions like this one. And we will talk about ground news because I'm really excited about using ground news as another guides. Because I think I have developed enough discernment over the years of my life that I can tell when something is credible and when something is not credible, when somebody is ignoring evidence, when somebody is endorsing a particular point of view, but still having that definition set out like we're doing right here really is helpful. I mean, it really helps to define that you do have these two dominant perspectives, propaganda, to know where it's coming from, right? And we just saw this clip with this interviewer with Avi Loeb, and I made the comment to you that appears to be typical CNN. And we know where CNN is falling on the spectrum. But now there's a lot of, I think this is an organic movement. I mean, look at this. We've got so many different. Let's look at some of the ones that they're representing here.
You've got Trump having a off of Randall's vantage.
Some of the points that this has got to be the same guy, right? Abraham Loeb with Harvard University. Yeah, it must be this. It must be Avi. Is Avi a short contraction for Abraham?
Yeah, it is the same fellow.
Same guy. Yeah, there we are. Just looked him up on Wikipedia. Abraham Avi Loeb. Avi in quotation marks. So that's kind of a contraction, a nickname. Loeb is the Frank B. Baird Jr. Professor of Science at Harvard University, where since 2007 he has been director of the Institute for Theory and Computation at the Center for Astrophysics. He chaired the Department of Astronomy from 2011 to 2020 and founded the Black Hole Initiative. I am not familiar with the Black Hole Initiative. Are we going to mount an expedition to a black hole? Is that in our coming up here? I don't think that's
the first worldwide center to focus on the study of black holes, a collaborative interdisciplinary collective, is the harvard.edu slug.
Okay, so let's look here. He says, in the abstract, at this early stage of its passage through our solar system, 3I/Atlas, the recently discovered interstellar interloper, has displayed various anomalous characteristics determined from photometric and astrometric observations. As largely a pedagogical exercise. Yeah, in this paper, we present additional analysis into the astrodynamics of 3I Atlas, and I think from now on I will just refer to it as Atlas, and hypothesize that this object could be technological and possibly hostile, as would be expected from the dark forest resolution to the Fermi paradox. We talked a little bit about that before the show, and
So the Fermi paradox, I think we should start with the Fermi paradox, which is the idea that, hey, there's a lot of space. Why are we the only ones? Are we the only ones? Does that make sense statistically speaking? And then the dark forest resolution to the Fermi paradox is, well, if there were advanced civilizations and they all had the proclivity to conquer, would they really be interested in broadcasting their presence, or would they work through spy satellites, probes, etc.? And this is where Avi Loeb's coming from. Could this be a tactically disguised probe that's just passing through the solar system, and are the emissions of hydroxyl a form of station keeping fuel, something that looks like it's a comet or asteroid, but it's acting in a very, very unusual manner. And the fact that it's on the plane of the ecliptic, it's going to come right by us while we're on the opposite side of the sun. You know, he's saying, hey, I'm asking questions. That's all he's doing. What show was that? I'm just asking questions. That's what Avi Loeb's take is here.
I'm just asking questions. That was a show.
There was a show
where somebody was asking questions. Yes, there was. Goes on to say here, we show that Atlas approaches surprisingly close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, with a probability of less than or approximately 0.005%. That's 1 part in 500, I guess, right? Furthermore, the low retrograde tilt of 3I Atlas's orbital plane to the ecliptic offers various benefits to an extraterrestrial intelligence, since it allows the object access to our planet with relative impunity. The eclipse by the sun from Earth of 3I Atlas at perihelion would allow it to conduct a clandestine reverse solar oberth maneuver, an optimal high thrust strategy for interstellar spacecraft to break and stay bound to the sun. Now let's go into a solar oberth maneuver. Do you have something on that?
I watched it on Star Trek. It's what they did with the Enterprise, right? The fourth movie, the Oberth maneuver. You don't remember? You don't remember the original the
movies.
fourth movie? Yeah. Where they did an Oberth maneuver.
I don't remember that. I remember. I see the fourth one?
Was it the fourth or the fifth one where they had the whales? It was the one where they had the whales, and they
I did see that
travel.
One.
They were trying to the Oberth maneuver is where you fly into a nexus of gravity orbiting the sun, or say Jupiter, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that's where you're traveling close enough to the gravity that you can use it as a slingshot.
As a slingshot, yeah.
The slingshot maneuver is the layman's term that I'm more familiar with.
It's a technique used in space travel where a spacecraft accelerates while falling into a gravitational well, such as a near planet. And the thing is, if my understanding is correct, this high rate of speed of Atlas is going to make it especially suitable for an Oberth maneuver when it transits perihelion.
Mm-hmm.
It can use the sun's gravity to accelerate it?
To accelerate back out, yeah.
Back out. Okay, this method is more efficient for gaining speed compared to accelerating outside of a gravitational field, as it takes advantage of the spacecraft's higher velocity at that point. We will mention that the perihelion is the highest velocity in an orbital system. That because as it's falling into the sun, it's getting drawn in closer and closer. The gravity field of the sun is having more and more effect, and that effect manifests as an acceleration in its orbit. Once it crosses that perihelion passage and continues out, it's now moving away from the sun, right? So now the gravity field of the sun is pulling it back. It's wanting to put the brakes on, right? What the Oberth maneuver is they're using that acceleration as it falls towards the sun to slingshot it, as you said.
And as it gets closer, it'll slingshot out. Now, if this is naturally occurring, then it is just a very, very interesting passage, very unlikely. So my question is how often does this actually happen? How many interstellar objects do we have? We obviously don't have 20-kilometer wide objects passing through every day. But we have like the Tard meteor stream, which is a local phenomenon.
Yes.
Some scientists have thrown out potentially up to 10,000 interstellar objects passing through our solar system. Some of them the size of a rock you could throw, and some of them much, much larger.
Oh, okay.
So
but this one is unique.
It's unique.
Possibly.
It's big. As far as observation goes, it's very unique. There's a coma, right? There's a center nucleus that is glowing, but there's not a heck of a lot of a tail right now.
Right.
And so that makes it interesting, because as something gets closer to the sun, what happens to the ice and to all the volatiles, Randall? What happens to a comet as it gets closer to the sun?
They sublimate, and then they outgas, and they form that tail. So
it's evidence of something burning, whereas or sublimating, right, as it gets closer to the sun. So the question is, why is this so big? And we're going to get into the water volatile issue in just a little bit. How massive is this in terms of volatiles on the mass? But also, B, why is it not showing the tail that NASA would have expected it to show?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
So what we have here, that graphic you just had up, that shows the orbital trajectory of 3I Atlas as it's coming in. We see that outer orange or yellow ring is Jupiter, and it's coming. We see that it's coming within the orbit of Mars. And now this is actually okay. If we look, we see that the object is right up towards the upper right, and that's basically now, correct? At
More
present.
or less.
And then so in October, it's going to be passing down there. It'll be passing very close to Mars. Mars is moving. If you look at Mars on that orange circle, it's moving counterclockwise as we're looking down on it. And you can see that Atlas is moving the opposite direction. So we would say that Mars is in a prograde, and Atlas is in a retrograde motion, which means that it's really moving fast through the interplanetary zone.
You had a great analogy to describe prograde and retrograde from the perspective of someone driving in a car.
Yeah.
For those who are not familiar.
Well, it's like you're driving down a highway, and you're in one direction, you've got cars coming in the other direction, and let's say you go to pass the car in front of you, right? Well, assume that the car in front of you is a planet and it's moving forward in a prograde, and you pass it, right? I recently watched another analogy that will kind of fit this as well, is that one of my old-time favorite movies back from the 80s was called The Lone Riders. It was about Jesse James and the younger gang, and there's a scene in there where they're going to rob a train, and it looked to me like the actual actors up there galloping their horses, right? So they gallop up alongside the train, and they get going. So the horses are galloping almost as fast as the train is going. They're able to lean over, grab on, and jump into the moving train, right? Well, that, you see, would be like if Comet Atlas or Atlas was in a prograde, it would be moving the same direction around the sun as all the planets are. But now imagine that Jesse James is going to rob the train, but he's riding the horse in the opposite direction that the plane is moving. Well, he's not going to have nearly the easy time jumping onto the train, because now you've got to add the velocity of the horse galloping to the velocity of the train moving in opposite directions, right? So what we have here is that this object is going to be in a retrograde orbit. Now, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what does that actually mean. Well, it means it's going to zip through mighty damn quick. We've concluded that it was 60
over 60 kilometers per second.
Yeah, we saw one estimate there where it was 64 kilometers per second.
That's
64
fast.
kilometers. And what does that work out to be in miles per hour? Well, we calculated that a little earlier. I can obviously do it again. If I go 64 kilometers, I go times 3.28.
It's 136,000 miles per hour. And so this is where I think it really becomes relevant to all of your work is how often do we get baseball size or car sized objects like this coming through, even if it's not the TARD meteor stream? What would a vehicular sized asteroid coming through at 136,000 miles per hour, what would that do to a small coastal village?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Even if it impacts the water, what's it going to do? So the question is, we've got our model of the Oort cloud. We've got our, the Kuiper disk. The next question is, are we in a larger set of streams?
Yeah.
And something that's worth exploring.
I agree. And are we, like Avi Loeb said in that interview, this is a whole new frontier for us. So let's see. Hypervelocity impact involves the projectile moving at very high velocities, such as asteroid and meteorites. The energy associated with the impact load is a function of the mass and velocity of the impactor. So those are the two primary things. The energy released is going to be a function of the velocity. And an analogy I use there is that, let's say I had a 38 caliber bullet, all right, out of its shell, just a 38 out of its casing. And I've just got a 38 caliber shell, caliber bullet, little lead bullet, and you're standing across the room from me and I throw it at you. And I throw it really hard and it's moving 50, 60 miles per hour. I don't think it's going to be moved fast as a Major League Baseball pitcher throwing a ball at over 90 miles an hour. But let's say I throw it at you even as hard as I can and it hits you and you go, ow. Hey, but it's not going to do any damage, is it? But suppose I accelerate that to 2,000 feet per second, which is the speed of pretty much a high-powered rifle bullet. Now look at what that little lead bullet will do to you when it strikes you. And the only difference, not even no difference in mass, only difference is in velocity. And now that energy that's released could kill you. Right? Correct. So, so this thing is moving. I mean, if it was to strike something, I mean, if an object, if it's on the high, and we don't know, I'm going to be really curious in monitoring this because I'd like to know really how big this thing is. But if Avi Loeb is corrected, it could be upwards of 20. What was it? He said 20
kilometers.
20 kilometers is going to be about 12 miles in diameter. Well, 12 miles in diameter, that's twice the diameter of the KT impactor. And we know what that did. And of course, I don't know the shape of this thing, but unlike Oumuamua, which looked like a cigar, this thing may be more spherical. But the sphere, the volume of the sphere scales by the cube of the radius. So,
for those who haven't seen Oumuamua, looks something like this.
There it is. Yes, look at this thing. Now that was a weird looking thing, wasn't it?
So that was one eye. The first one that we're familiar with is Oumuamua. Borisov was kind of simple, and then Oumuamua was just a general asteroid, nothing too unusual. But Oumuamua was very interesting. It's like this. Atlas. It's unusual in shape. It looks like it's young. It looks like it hasn't been chipped away. And so, just for fun, one more for you.
Okay.
If we have a 1 mile wide iron asteroid, let's say it hits New York.
Bye-bye, New York.
37-mile wide crater
Oh, man.
70-mile wide fireball.
70-mile wide fireball.
126 decibel shockwave. And you have 9.0 magnitude earthquake. So that's just 1 mile. And so, try 12 for a moment and see what that looks like.
That would be that would probably
In-game.
sterilize the planet.
That would be an in-game event.
End-game event. There might be microbial life surviving. I don't think any of higher life, probably the whole 90% of the food chain is gone.
Correct.
From an object. And then again, how fast is it moving? What was the velocity of this?
136 miles per hour. 136,000 miles per hour. 136K. There we go.
Oh, yeah. And chances are, though, they're not going to be moving that fast. What makes this enigmatic is that high velocity, which is, 5, 6, 7 times faster than normal objects. We see comets tend to move faster than asteroids.
Correct.
But, we might be looking at, 15 miles per second. 15 miles per second as compared to, 60 miles. So it's 1/4 the velocity of this thing, roughly, ballpark.
So the other thing that makes this enigmatic, and you and I calculated this before, we found this through ground news, actually. Water detection in interstellar object 3I Atlas. Remember, you and I were doing some computations before on how much water was coming off of this thing, based on what you and I read here. Did you write that down by any chance?
I believe I did. Let's see.
We're talking a significant outpouring of water, and this is where Avi Loeb is saying that this is an interesting object because it's outgassing at a very high rate.
Let's see.
While you look for that, the detection of OH emission prior to any cyanogen, CN, detection is unusual and may reflect differences in grain-driven outgassing or volatile inventory compared to a typical comet, which makes it unique, worth studying, I think. So how much water is this thing pouring off?
Right. Let's see. Oh, okay. We did calculate that. Works out about 3,500 tons per day. About 3,500 tons per day of water. So if I go 3,500, see, 3,500, I divide that by 24. That's about 145 tons per hour
of water.
I'll divide that by 60, and that's about 2.5 tons per minute.
So what is this thing? It has to be young. It has to be young, or it had to start off as massive for there to be this much volatile material. Normally, volatiles, compounds that are going to outgas or when they're exposed to the sun, normally they're a sign of age or addition, or that much water doesn't typically. You can't pour out that much water for long. That's a lot. So where is that water coming from? And I think it's a reasonable question. We should ask: is this thing very young, or is this thing unusual?
All right. So here we go. This is the evidence. 9 different discrete pieces of evidence that define this object as being enigmatic. And we'll go through some of these here. The first one is the fact that the orbital plane lies virtually in the ecliptic, though retrograde. I equals 175.11. So that would then be, if we subtracted that from 180, that would give us the inclination of the orbit, which is what that I stands for. So actually, if we did 180,
it's 4.89 degrees.
4.89 degrees, so a little bit less than 5 degrees. Okay. And he says here about this that taking the first row in Table 1, it appears that besides the fact that it is clearly a hyperbolic trajectory, let's just talk about that for a second, because a hyperbola is one of the family of conic sections, along with parabolas and ellipses and circles. In nature, we don't find any orbits that are perfect circles. Some of them are, orbits are, at least in the inner solar system, when you mentioned a torrid shower, the torrid meteor stream earlier, they're all in elliptical orbits. An ellipse is a geometric figure that's closed, right? So if we look at an object, a meteorite, a comet that's in an elliptical orbit, we know it's closed, we know it's going to be coming back, right? But a hyperbola is not closed, it's open, and apparently has no closure at any point. So if an object is on a hyperbolic orbit, it's going to come in, but it's not going to close that loop and turn around and come back. It's going to just simply come in, it's going to have its pathway, its orbital trajectory modified by the gravitational attraction of the sun or Jupiter or any other gravitational object that it passes in the vicinity of, is going to affect to a greater or lesser degree its orbital path. A hyperbolic orbit is what we have here. So it's not something that's going to go out and then presumably come back, unless the ellipse is so huge that for all practical purposes, it is not coming back within the life of the universe. Anyways, so what he's saying here is that it is clearly on a hyperbolic trajectory that possesses a non-zero speed at an infinite distance from the sun of approximately 60 kilometers per second. There is a further extremely unusual feature of 3I Atlas's trajectory, which is that its orbital plane is tilted only slightly from the ecliptic and is retrograde. This means attempts by humanity to intercept it, or even more difficult rendezvous with it, are extremely challenging, if not impossible, with chemical rockets. Yet nonetheless, as we shall see, allows 3I Atlas to intercept certain key target planets with relative ease. So again, the idea, we want to intercept it. It's like, Jesse James riding the wrong way down the railroad tracks. You're going to have a hard time leaping onto that train car to rob the passengers or the strong box with the money in it, or the gold, or whatever it might be. So that's what he's saying here. It makes it very difficult for us to actually intercept it. But then it does allow it to intercept certain key target planets with relative ease. Furthermore, a low ecliptic tilt at a distance from the sun would enable an extraterrestrial, an ETI, an extraterrestrial intelligence through astrometric measurements to determine the orbits and masses of the solar system planets, allowing it to prepare an optimal approach strategy to the solar system. So, I mean, from that perspective, you could almost think of it as a, like, what would you call it, a recon satellite?
Yeah, I think that's what Loeb is suggesting. Yeah.
Now, he's saying, of course, that he doesn't really even believe that, but he's just doing it as a pedagogical exercise.
40% is a strong, 40% certainty is a strong number.
And the likelihood for such a perfect alignment of the orbital angular momentum, the angular momentum vector around the sun for Earth, and 3I Atlas is 2 times 10 to the minus third, so 2 over 1,000, so about 1 part in 500. That's and an interesting formula here. It's pi, then it's got the inclination of 5 degrees divided by 57 degrees, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm going to have to look into this. But that division of 5/57 is then squared and divided by 4 pi, and that gives you the odds. Yeah, missions to Atlas would have been much easier had the interstellar object been traveling in the ecliptic plane prograde, obviously. Figure 1 illustrates opportunities of to 3I Atlas expire by the year end, and even then would only be achievable for a SpaceX Starship refueled in low Earth orbit and a spacecraft payload with nuclear thermal propulsion. And so you've got thus so this graphic here, since we just downloaded this paper, I haven't had a chance to study it yet. We have the color contours of characteristic energy, C3 for direct missions. Okay, so what this is doing is showing us the potential launch windows.
Correct.
Yeah, and so it looks to me like launch date after July 2025 starts to disappear rapidly. I think that's what this is showing us.
Yep. Your X is your time and your Y is your flight duration.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on audio, my apologies. You'll just have to look at this on the video. But you're looking at the colors, 14 kilometers per second. 14 kilometers per second squared. Yeah, and then negative to the -2. It's intense.
Yeah, so we've got this, and that is going to rapidly, that intercept window is rapidly going to close. I think that's the key here.
That there's only one vague long shot at getting this done, and I don't think it's going to work based on what little bit of knowledge I have. But Rep. Anna Paulina Luna actually suggested this, as you know.
Okay.
And so she suggests that the Juno probe potentially be retasked because it's going out and it's going to pass by Jupiter on its way out. And that's the March 16th date, 2026.
Right. Okay.
Is our best shot on that mid-March. So she finishes her letter. It is recommended that NASA conduct a study to assess how much fuel is left in Juno's engines. And I support the extension of the Juno mission at least until mid-March 2026 at a cost of about $15 million per 6 months from current expiration date of mid-September 2025. The exciting new goal to study 3I Atlas will rejuvenate Juno's mission and extend its scientific lifespan beyond March 14th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Juno's engine cannot be reactivated, Juno can gather unprecedented data from 3I Atlas from its current orbit around Jupiter.
Okay.
So here she has it at 65.9 kilometers per second.
Okay.
Is the speed.
Well, and this was when? Because
she
like
put this out on the 1st of August.
Okay, so this is probably an update because it's going to be accelerating as it moves in towards perihelion.
Correct.
So,
so this is her X post, and there's a reader's note here. Readers added context they thought people might want to know. As of July 4th, 2016, the Juno spacecraft had 785 kilograms of propellant on board with its 1,593 kilogram dry mass and a hydrogen NTO specific impulse estimated at 339s. The spacecraft had 1,332 meters per second of delta V left at that date, well below the 2,675 meters per second required for Rep. Luna's proposal. So that's what the internet is responding with. They're saying, hey, you can get close, but not as close as we would want.
Right.
So there are proposals though to loft other craft to be ready, because we had 2017, I believe, was Oumuamua.
Right. Wow. That was interesting, wasn't it? If you want to watch the rest of it, I've put the link in the chat. I'll do it again if you like. Hang on. Unless you all know that channel, but some people might not later on. There it is in the chat. Kafida, you're obviously tinkering with your car, aren't you? So you're not with me.
Do what, Lee?
I said, are you tinkering with your car? Are you leaving? Are you tinker with your
No,
car?
not right now. I was helping Mike. He was going to go out to get some fast food. He took my sister's car.
Right.
Pam says hi. She bought her a guitar today.
Hello, Pam.
Hello. Say a prayer for me. I got remorse coming out. So today's Tuesday's chillin' chat was a little different. If you enjoyed it, comment. If you didn't enjoy it, comment.
Well, we had 22 people at one point, and I've got 11 likes.
Comment anyway.
11 thumbs up. What's the crack?
Hey, good views on last show too. And I hyped your video finally.
I think it's because maybe a couple of people hyped the video. So it is helping in regaining numbers that way. But still only 11 likes. What's the crack? I don't know. I think that's pretty easy to hit the like button. It's a lot easier than making comments. I know that.
Yeah, sometime after the show airs, you can go back and go to watch it, and it'll have the little bubble that says hop below the buttons, or you can swap over from comments. It'll say hop this video. You click that, and it took me to comments, so I had to go actually down there where it says under the star or something, hop this video, and it took me to the other page, and I hopped it then too.
Let's put this up a second here. Let's.
I can't share screen, can I? I don't know from a mobile. But anyway.
It's okay. So.
But I could try it on my other account too.
So, that's where the hype comes up like that. Yeah.
Also, I saw it at different places. Last night, I clicked my menu, or I'm on my home screen on my YouTube on mobile, when your icon's down at the bottom right. And so I go up and click the menu thing on the top left, and I scroll down in there somewhere, and I saw the word something about hype. And then today, like below your video, where it'll say live, playlists, videos, community, things like that, it said hype. But also,
you don't go through the internet for YouTube on a mobile phone. You use the app, the YouTube app.
Yeah. Well, the hype, it's got to be on mobile. But also.
Yeah, but some people go on their phone and go through Google or whatever to go to YouTube, rather than just going to an app store and downloading the YouTube app.
I knew it was going to pop up earlier, because sometimes you can only see one or two little dots beside comments. And I'm like, oh, something's there, because it's usually comments. It wants to take you to the YouTube music app, and then it'll be like chat replay. But today it was also saying hype. So I knew something else was different there. There was like 4 other dots. I'm like, oh, something's new. So, and then I checked it on 2 accounts, and it let me hype it. It's like 4,000 and some points per hype, and apparently I'd already hyped it maybe in a week's time, because you get 4,000 some points, and I knew it didn't let me do it yesterday or the day before. So it said 8,000 some points. I'm like, oh, okay, probably where I hyped it already. And then
I see. Yeah, that's it. So it adds
I went to my other account and done it, and it was 12 something.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it. That's
Just
cool.
people,
That really helped the show. That will.
Anybody that plays it back, like that's lurking or gives it a rewatch or misses it and just goes to watch it at all, it should pop up. You can swipe right from comments
Yeah.
or swap comments over to the left, and it may pop up. If not, try another account. Yeah. Well, yeah. Suggestions. No, there's this new thing called Hype for people. It's got like 500 to 500,000 subscribers. Just to help the little man, the underdog, help people notice them more.
Well, that's it. That's it. Because there is no way of helping the little guy. That's what I've been saying this since I started YouTube. How do they help a channel that's just starting out get anywhere? Well, I'll tell you how. They don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have to first. When I first started YouTube,
when
like
you start to get big, they're like, oh,
no. When I first started YouTube, you had to get 1,000 subscribers, and you had to have 4,000 watch hours, right? So I achieved those two goals, and then about a year later, they took it and said, all you need now is 500 subscribers. Still need 4,000 or 3,000 viewing hours now. Oh, cheers for that. So what compensation do I get then for having to earn the, you know what I mean? Myself and millions of others that had to, slog to get to 1,000 subscribers when there was nobody helping you push the channel out or anything. You know what I mean? You had to do it all yourself. All I used to do was network, and I'll tell you what, it's the worst thing ever. That's why I don't do networking anymore, because all it's done really is ended up ruining things.
And I think to get any ad revenue, your videos have to be 8 minutes at least. Nothing under 8 minutes.
Yeah, but not only that. Yeah, but not only that though. If you've got any sort of copyright material, and I'm just talking about copyright claims, not strikes, right? A copyright claim is a different thing. Sometimes they share the ad revenue with you, right? Like if it's a song I've sung or whatever, and there's which is all of them basically on a Saturday. Those sort of things will earn me nothing, because as it was, I earned nothing. Unless you're getting in the millions of views, you don't get any revenue. Unless you get hundreds of thousands of views, you don't get any income from YouTube at all.
It's different for shorts. They changed shorts up to 3 minutes long now. A few months ago, I believe, roughly.
Yeah, that's just a weird number, 3 minutes. That's weird.
Yeah. That's a whole new mule, man.
That's just off of a full song. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Coming up Thursday.
But anyway, yeah, you crack on with your
Radio 1FA, back-to-back original tracks from Lee G. It's a full pint of rock. No.
It's a full pint of rock, not half.
Whoop, whoop, oi, oi. Calm down, Chiefy. Chiefy's excited. There's a multimeter, and I was mentioning and talking about wiggling and flickering. Well, hold up. Wiggling the what? Wiggling the ignition switch to see if the lights flickered. That tells me if my ignition switch has gone bad, because there was a recall on those, and I didn't know it till a few minutes ago. It's an O2 car, but hey, it cost me $1,800. My dad helped me years ago with that, and she said, the guy said, I guarantee you'll have a good running car. We've had it 4 or 5 years now. Nothing major ever went wrong. Keep it will change and all this and that. Now the starter got wore out, something in there. So my homemade something and rigged it back up to fix it, and it's still going there. But it may be the alternator not charging the battery, because first it was running earlier. It was running fine.
That sounds likely to me.
It's not charging the battery up.
Yeah, and then as soon as you switched on as well, it's drained the battery, whatever battery life you had in there anyway.
Yeah.
And if you fully charge the battery, that's the best way to tell, really. Fully charge the battery, whack it back in there, and see how quick it goes.
And then, yeah, let it run for a little bit or something and check it. It's supposed to be 14.2 to 14.7 or 0.9. Forget now. 14 point something. 14
I
plus.
wouldn't know. It'd be different in the States, I would have thought. We have 12 volts over here. We have it on 12 volts.
I forget that amps and volts.
What do you have?
thing.
Do you have it at 14
Amps.
volts then?
That's what it's supposed to be, your amps or something.
Oh, that's weird. Anywho, Kafida.
Yeah.
Say cheerio to the lovely Jades.
Cheerio,
obviously we didn't make our goal, but you know it's Tuesday. It happens.
Well, how much time's on the clock? Oh,
but no, 4 minutes. And
well, you just hold that horse. How many do you need?
Well, just under. Nah, there's no chance. We're not making it
If
now.
you need one, I'm doing it. Somebody stop me. But if you just need one, I
need 4. So.
Shoot. It's 1 a minute. Ding, ding, ding. Get it, y'all. Who wants a bonus hour of music? Bonus hour of music.
You got no hope now, mate. No
Hey,
hope.
you done it one day in 4 minutes.
Yeah, we did, but like I said, by the time I play the video out,
First floor needs 4. First floor needs 4. Well, hey,
Right,
if you
David,
do it
how's
before
it
the
going, mate?
video's out, you just have to stay. You can see how much time is left on the timer for the goal by scrolling all the way up to the top of the chat so you can see goal. It doesn't automatically buy anything if you have a card saved or anything. You have to click to go to the process. But you can see the timer on it that's left. Do what, Pam? Oh, that's old song.
Right, anyway, Kafida.
If you don't make it, do comment. Please like. Bring friends, family, foes, whatever.
And hit that like button.
Share it anywhere.
Yeah, share it out there. And then if you get the chance, if you're on your phone, hype the show.
Yep.
Well, that's if you've downloaded the YouTube app, clearly. But yeah, anyway, so
Kafida, you have a lovely tribe, and hey, the more the merrier. So
yeah,
want people just like you.
That's it. Kafida, thanks for joining me. I'll see you later, Kafida. What was that?
I said, bye, guys. Love y'all.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, well, we didn't make our goal, but hey ho, it sucks to be me. But I will see you back here on Thursday. And thanks for everybody for joining me. And I'll catch you on the flip side. It'll be on Thursday, like Kafida said. Anyway, peace and love. See you later. And live in the moment. Because the only time that matters is now. There's only now. Peace and love, baby. See you later.
Tomorrow, though somewhere. The only time that matters is now. Time is an illusion. Breathing every second. The only